Well, good weekend. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your weekend edition of your SPDR Stock ETF wrap-up. And this is for Friday night, and this is November 22nd, 2024. You know, we have Thanksgiving coming up this week, so you have an abbreviated week. It gets very quiet on Thursday and Friday, as you can imagine. In terms of news, we have nothing scheduled for now but earnings. A lot of earnings still on companies during that earnings cycle. Wednesday is the big day, though, that you get the PCE numbers. So those will come out and we'll see just what the heck they're going to do for the Fed. And then we start with, right after that, we're going to be back into give me the jobs report, then give me the PPI, CPIs, and let's get into the Fed meeting. And we'll see just what that's all going to mean. Is the Fed going to go 25 basis points or not? The big question in the euro currency is, do they go 25 or 50 basis points? So things have gotten worse in that part of the world. I had stuck my neck out with a special report last week where I thought the stock market would do well, and this would be a week where the market defines that it can go back up and maybe comes to the end of a normal break after an election. And so far, I'm looking pretty good. The Dow new highs, if you take a look as to what that has done, QQQ turned around late in the day and actually closed up with gains. So that's another one that has come alive. Boeing out of nowhere up today, $5.50 or so. We're seeing that NVDA gave back a bit, and there's a story with NVDA. What NVDA is now is, and you may not agree with the words, but it's a mature company, but that's really the part, that the earnings are phenomenal. You're getting sales of what, 37 billion, 38 billion a quarter, and their profit ratios, they're running a margin there of 74% plus. So it's a milk machine, but the stock's also priced that in, and what happens is the market buys into that, is the earnings, gives it a pop, and then everybody seems to dump it, like what's happening now. You were just recently up to the 152 number, pulls it back $10 or so, maybe it pulls back a bit more, and the game starts fresh. All right, and until they have real competition, which I don't think they have at this point in time, that's it. And remember, they're pricing now for the Blackwell. Their delivery is just beginning. We will see how it works out. When people tell me, well, the servers have issues, on any brand new product, that's it. Do you buy the first model of a car? I don't when it first comes out. Why? You generally have the flaws, all right? No matter how the engineers work through it, the real world where 500,000 people, 1 million, whatever the numbers are they're selling, they find things you didn't have before. Remember Microsoft uploads that we would get? Same thing. You still get it in some of the Apple, although not as much anymore, right? But you'd get an upload. Everybody go, what headache's this one going to bring on? So it's part of what technology is, and just understand that. What has happened under Trump is something to keep in the back of your mind. The markets ran up at first on him, pulled back, and I'm talking the stock market, then pulled back. Now it seems to be ready to go with Santa Powell, Santa Claus, and hopefully Santa Trump, hopefully. The dollar has really come alive and just trounced everything. Gold, no. Gold went from the 2,800 level to 2,550, back up over 2,700 today. So it's a wild ride in some of these markets, but there's been one constant, and that's interest rates haven't really budged. They drop 8-9 basis points, but they're still 4.4 in the market. So they're not really joining this parade that we have. By the way, GM up today, 285. There's a lot of pressure coming on Trump to not do away with the $7,500 rebate for cars, electric cars priced under certain points. So we will see what that all means. Nothing happens 1, 2, 3. And as much as Elon Musk has his ear, Elon is not running the government. Trump runs the government. And he has, from everything I'm reading, a certain amount, and then he goes, keep him away from me for a while. We've got the market running. When we come to XRT, did I mention XRT? Well, let me bring you back to it. This is XRT, and the reason that we're looking at XRT is one of you wrote me and wanted to know what happens with the retail sales ETF going forward. Black Friday starts this week, and then you know we're into Christmas sales all over the place. So when you look at this chart, what I see is a market with sideways action trying right now to break out to the upside. The word is right now. You'd have to get under these lows right here, let's call it the 70 level, to tell me there's something wrong without this market then moving higher. In the swing line, which is the brown lines, and what this does, so you'll know, the swing line looks at a prior bar, and I have 5 rules that set it up. It's all in my full charting course. Teaches you how to do it, shows you how to set this all up for yourself, and away you go. And I'm looking for patterns like you hear on financial TV. Oh, we've got the pattern, higher lows, higher highs. The problem with saying that is, where is it on this chart? I define you to do it. Now, I don't want to bury you with everything how I created this, but all these arrows can show automatically up and down all over the chart. You can show only up or down arrows. It really comes in pretty handy in our software. So until the market gets under 74.91 on a weekly chart, the pattern's higher lows and higher highs. I don't think you can fight that just yet. The market's having an outside week up. If you've taken my outside day course, you know what that is. And this is a continuation pattern. Since you're over the 18-week average, that's it. Now, one of you asked, why do I use the 18-day average? If you look at all 3 nights' videos, you will see. I discuss it in detail why I do that, and I'm not going to repeat it again. Where's the resistance, okay, on the chart? Well, you go to the Bollinger Band. And I think you'd agree it has done a nice job of restricting how the rallies have gone. But when you come out of sideways action that has been going on since March, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sideways action is the key to everything on this. When you get these wild swings, I'll put my money on it over and over on these wild swings. When you do that, it's not sideways action. Give the market anywhere between hitting it and 2 or 3 days out, and it's probably going to be back in the band or under it. This is different. This is sideways. So I'm not saying it doesn't have to pull back. I am not saying I would tell clients to buy over that band. I am saying this market looks to me like a market ready to move on to the upside. It's overbought, over the band, not the place that I would tell my clients to buy, but within the bands on pullbacks, I'm quite interested in the market. Amazon is also sales, if you think about it. And what did it do? It's just coming off the year's high. So getting a pullback here is not a surprise to me, but it is a weekly chart and you're not embedding, so it's not as bullish and as exciting to me as XRT is right now. K-Web, I've been looking for a pullback down to the 18-week average. You got this week as low as 29.74, and I've been saying that for a while. So you're about there. 29.51's that. I'm not bearish down at that average. Now I'm looking for the support to try to grab hold. Same thing in MCHI. I was looking for this market to also fall back to these numbers. We're now getting it. So you're entering in the Chinese numbers a support zone. And it's important because in December, we were told that the Chinese government's going to have another set of meetings and try to even give us more on how they're going to righten their economy. They've got to get the ship right, and it's not at this point in time. Restoration Hardware, back to a high for this part of the move. You can see you're challenging all this back here. Coming in, obviously their Christmas business is doing pretty good. We know that the company's been running well, and they're doing very well in the niche that they have. If you've been to one of their stores, I mean, it's an experience you want to go through. Meta, Google, all these other companies, I'm a little fearful of Uncle Sam in Biden's last days there trying to break everything up. Now, the beauty is this takes a long time to do. I don't think that this is how Trump thinks. So we will see how far this goes. But right now, the pressure's on all that. You don't need me to tell you that. In the regional banking, look how the market came in, held this key, 200-day average. Now, it fought a battle there. And it's from there that it finally lifted. More times than not, when you fight the first battle, you fail. This market, though, had two things going for it: the 18-week, and then you had the the bullish crossover. When you get a bullish crossover, it's often a sign the market's going to run. Now, you're over the upper Bollinger Band, you're stretched out, I'll let somebody else want to buy it. I am not bearish. It's not a spot that I would tell you to put new money to work. XLI, fully embedded reading. I'm definitely in the bull camp here, looking for this market to work its way higher until that reading is lost. On energy, come on, you know that Trump is behind all this right now. I read today that Mr. Nowak, I think it is, from Russia, the minister, he thinks that the market's nicely in balance and he's thanking OPEC. Well, I am hoping that they've gotten themselves back into the right frame of mind with not overproducing. Number two, OPEC, it looks like they're going to meet. And the code word for doing nothing is if they don't meet in person. And I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm not hearing that they're all about to travel for the in-person meeting, which tells me they'll hold production steady at this meeting. UUP, higher lows, higher highs. The reason I say that is generally you want everybody in the room because you're overproducing. We're all eating this and you're overproducing. Do you want to stay here? Do you want us to overproduce? And you understand that. It's a lot easier to do it in the room than it is on the internet. And you can see how the market is working here. So here you are with your dollar. As bullish as I am, no, I would not tell my clients to buy over a Bollinger Band because you don't stay over it more than 5% of the time. So you wait for the pullbacks. I don't care if you have to buy it even higher. You buy it within it. And GLD, well, look at how this craziness went. You went here from 257 down to the line in the sand, 240 level, and here you are tonight, back up for all purposes at the 250. But it is not screaming buy me. It is saying that was the correction, now what? That's how I'm viewing it. Copper is still bearish until we hear word from what China is going to do or what they don't do. So that's still weighing on that market. That's my news as I put it all together. So we see where the market's going to head. I remind you, take advantage of our free offers. We've put SeasonX, our new partner that we work with, on seasonal trades in this. So for the first time, you're able to get a good long offer, a free one. And then if you decide to go with them and buy it, well, you're going to get another discount because it's coming through us. So I invite you to do that. It's worth doing. At least I think it is if you're somebody that studies what the market's done in the past, which is just another tool, but it's an important one to me. There's the more research one that we've worked with for 30 years. Our technical indicators, volume 1 and 2, everything laid out. And remember, at the bottom of the page, when you're through clicking on the blue so it goes into your cart, just put all your information there. We'll generally get it to you within 2 business days. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great weekend. I'll catch up with everybody come Monday morning. Take care.